On August 7, 2025, at 4:26 a.m., Chicago police officers responding to a burglary in progress at a GameStop inside the Addison Mall encountered multiple offenders actively loading stolen merchandise into a red SUV and a white sedan. As officers moved in, both vehicles suddenly fled, turning a routine burglary response into a violent escape within seconds.
Let's go! Let's go! Hey! Stop the car! Stop the car!
Shot fired! Shot fired!
Shots fired! Are you okay?
Yeah.
Officers being hit at Addison Mall. We need cars. We need cars.
Where are you?
Heading call 28138.
733, where are you? Alright, 733, we're showing at Addison. Addison. Hey, shots fired. We're going to call us in one Addison in California for 1733. 1733 calling out shots fired. Units of 17 respond to Addison in California. Our units of 17, Addison in California.
Cars up here, eastbound on Addison now heading towards California.
Eastbound on Addison going towards California.
Cars are fleeing the scene. They're heading eastbound on Addison now, heading towards California.
Multiple offenders all armed.
Multiple offenders, all armed. Again, all units of 17, you want to respond over to Addison, California for 1733. We call this in one.
Eastbound now on California. Eastbound on Addison now, California. Got the truck open?
All right, eastbound on California. You guys are going eastbound on California for Addison. What kind of car is this?
It is a red Jeep. They're on the way.
Red Jeep 10-4.
It's a red Jeep and a white Chrysler 300. They're on 96 now. They're on Rockwell and Addison right now.
Rockwell and Addison, red Jeep, Chrysler 300. Again, all units of 17.
They're going southbound on Rockwell now.
Gotta go southbound on Rockwell. Got the red Jeep, white Chrysler 300.
They're going to hit Belmont. They're going to be on Belmont and Rockwell in a second. 19 district, no point 19 district now.
And 19 is going to be notified. Belmont and Rockwell 10-4. Again, you guys are looking out for a red Jeep, white Chrysler 300. 19 has been notified. We got a sergeant monitoring for our 10-1.
They're behind 19 district now. We're by 19 district now. We're going to hit Belmont right now.
All right, 10-4 got them right behind 19 at the station. They're notified. We had 1934 responding for you guys.
We're on Belmont going westbound now. Going westbound on Belmont heading towards California.
All right, Belmont westbound towards California. Again, Belmont westbound towards California. 1934 is responding.
They're still westbound on Belmont. They're going to hit Kesby.
Still westbound on Belmont, coming out towards Kesby. Again, you guys are looking for a red Jeep, white Chrysler 300.
They're on Sacramento. They're heading into 14th district now. We have to notify state they're going to head inbound on the 9094. Inbound 994. The Jeep has the trunk open. Sorry, baby.
Back to the game.
All right, 10-4, 733. We want to be clear, sir. Did they shoot at you or were they just shooting? All right, so shots just at the scene. They were not shooting at the police. We're going to note that. Northbound on Ashton, still from Chicago?
Yeah,
Hey, are you guys okay?
We're good.
Okay.
We're going for 1799. That's enough. Call it off.
Tier 4, 171232, 1799 has terminated this pursuit. It's 0436 hours.
From a constitutional standpoint, officers were operating well within lawful authority at the outset. A burglary in progress constitutes a forcible felony, providing immediate probable cause for detention and arrest without a warrant. The officers were permitted to approach, issue commands, and physically intervene to prevent escape. At this stage, no Fourth Amendment seizure issues arise, as the suspect's liberty interests were lawfully constrained by the commission of an observable felony. As the suspects entered the vehicles and attempted to flee, the legal analysis escalated. Under Illinois law and federal constitutional standards, a motor vehicle can constitute a deadly weapon when used in a manner capable of causing death or great bodily harm. Body-worn camera footage and subsequent investigative reports indicate that the white sedan turned toward an officer positioned in the roadway and struck him in the leg as it accelerated away. That impact satisfies the legal elements of aggravated battery against a peace officer and establishes a credible threat of serious bodily harm. At the moment the officer was struck and destabilized, a single firearm discharge occurred. Investigative review later determined that the officer's weapon discharged downward into the asphalt as he stumbled from the vehicle strike. The discharge was not directed at a person or vehicle, and no one was struck by gunfire. Supervisory and civilian oversight later assessed the discharge as likely accidental, occurring during the physical impact rather than as an intentional use of deadly force. Nevertheless, because any firearm discharge by an officer is categorically treated as deadly force for reporting purposes, the incident triggered a Level 3 tactical response report and mandatory review by the Civilian Office of Police Accountability. Following the collision and discharge, officers re-entered their vehicles and pursued both fleeing offenders. A vehicle pursuit for armed burglary suspects and an aggravated battery on an officer is legally permissible, provided it remains subject to supervisory oversight and continuous evaluation of public safety risk. Radio traffic from the incident reflects repeated supervisory clarification regarding whether officers had been fired upon, whether any victims were injured, and whether the pursuit remained justified. When visual contact was lost and the risks of continuation increased, command staff terminated the pursuit in accordance with policy, demonstrating command-level control rather than unilateral officer decision-making. The officer who was struck by the vehicle was transported to the hospital for treatment of his leg injury and was later reported to be in good condition. No civilians or suspects were injured by gunfire, and no officers were injured during the subsequent pursuit. No suspects were taken into custody that night, and as of the public release of the footage and investigative materials, no arrests have been announced in connection with either the burglary or the fleeing vehicles. The firearm discharge was formally reviewed through the tactical response and COPA investigative processes, and the incident was administratively closed following supervisory and civilian oversight review, with no indication of criminal charges arising from the officer's actions. From a legal perspective, the encounter reflects a lawful progression of police authority, an on-view felony establishing probable cause, a suspect's use of a vehicle as a weapon elevating the threat level, a firearm discharge occurring during physical impact, and a pursuit governed and ultimately terminated by supervisory command. The post-incident investigation and public release of materials function as procedural safeguards designed to evaluate conduct, not as a presumption of wrongdoing. Thanks for watching. If you found this legal breakdown informative, like, share, and subscribe. Leave your thoughts in the comments below.